Hello everyone, it's good to see you back. As we've done a nice and simple build based around the Cold Heart, I thought it would be wise to come full circle within the build and show off the Delicate Tomb side of things. Now, this goes out to those that love fusion rifles, but want a fusion that could be useful in more harder content wherever you go. Whether you love applying jolt non-stop, or even getting a super up in 10 seconds, this build has got you covered, especially in more than one place. So starting with exotic armor, geomag stabilizers with exotic effect, close enough, it states, damaging targets with chaos reach extends its duration, collecting iron traces grants you energy for chaos reach, sprinting while near max bolt charge will grant stacks over time. Geomags are fantastic when paired up with a build that can generate iron traces by the dozen. While our Cold Heart build did showcase this quite fantastically, a Delicate Tomb with geomags is going to offer a more fast and hard hitting kill when you generally need it most. On top of that, as geomags don't need a lot to actually get it going, a pairing this up with a weapon that kills fairly fast is actually a good recommendation when you do think about it. Our second exotic is Delicate Tomb with exotic effect, Traitor's Vessel, and Tempest Cascade, which states, fires a wide horizontal spread when shot from the hip. Final blows with the weapon have a chance to generate iron traces. Powerful foes and opposing guardians always generate iron traces. Collecting iron traces overcharges the weapon's next shot, jolting targets on hit. A Delicate Tomb is a great exotic when paired up with exotic armor that benefits from jolt and iron traces. While it may have been limited in its reason for being used in only non-endgame content, its overall value does tend to shoot up when the season becomes arc focused, or specific mods such as parkour deconstruction gets re-added again. Personally, I'm a big fan when it comes down to using Delicate Tomb, as it feels like it's a true matchmaking heaven when using it with geomags. However, I do understand that using Cold Heart or even Trinity Ghoul tend to be the more quite popular option for a lot of people who want something more last longer in overall effectiveness. For aspects of Fragments, we have the following. Electric Sight of Mind when defeating a target with arc abilities or jolted targets creates iron traces. Collecting traces make you amplified. Iron Sentry when defeating targets with kinetic, arc weapons or arc abilities will charge up an arc turret that will periodically attack nearby targets. Sparkle Shock while arc grenades jolt targets. Sparkle Beacons where while amplified, special and heavy arc weapons can blind targets after kills. Sparkle Ions when defeating a jolt target creates iron traces. And Sparkle Frequency where melee hits increase your weapon stability and reload speed for a few seconds. While amplified, the effects are increased and you gain increased bolt charges from all sources. So as a near one-to-one build to the one I've done just recently, the fragments don't really need to change too much here. The Cold Heart video showed that the build can work under pressure pretty well, but also focusing on gaining iron traces and getting our super up and running as soon as possible. As shown, the build does a good job of that with Delicate Tomb, but with thanks to parkour deconstruction included, this will kill the bigger enemies much more faster, which overall allows us to garner more super energy via a handful. Now with Delicate Tomb in the hand, I do recommend you have Sparkle Beacons and Ions on the hand as well. The beacons will allow your special and heavy to constantly blind enemies after kill, which for an arc fusion rifle, this can be incredibly impactful when dealing with large groups of enemies all at once. Ions of course will be triggered by exotic, as it can jolt enemies upon kills made, so that is a nice and easy way to generate iron traces easily. I would have also added Sparkle Discharge to the build, as that can give you extra layer of iron traces as you please. However, it only makes sense to use it if you intend to use your arc weapons a lot. Now, while this is going to be the case for the build, both of the weapons are limited by the amount of ammo they hold, which in our case, only my heavy would benefit from this the most. Now, if you don't care about frequency so much within the build, and you want that extra iron trace as soon as possible, then you can possibly add it in if you want to. You just need to keep in mind the amount of ammo on hand. For the mods and stats, we have Resilience and Discipline marked with the highest priorities for the build. Strength will also play its part, with it being used to trigger bolt charges, or get us amplified, so having this at tier 6 or more is recommended. Resilience we have ours at tier 10 for a 30% damage reduction. I have added the Arc Resistance mod, although this will vary from fights to fights. There isn't much to take in mind for the following stat, as it will be good enough. Just keep in mind with the elemental mods, as they can be a lifesaver in GMs etc. A Discipline with ours at tier 10 for a 1 minute 1 second cooldown via storm grenades. Same with Resilience, there isn't anything specific you need here, unless you're going to play a pivotal role in the build. My melee is the Ball Lightning, which can attack 2 times in one go, and combine that with Storm Grenades that also attacks multiple times, and you have a combo that is great for a quick burst of damage. All of this at the end of the day will benefit us for creating iron traces that we need, but most importantly, it's going to allow us the ability to create iron sentries as often as possible. with the amount of energy generally coming back. So further expand on the abilities being used, we have the following. Impact Induction times 2 for a 17% grenade ability regen, Momentum Transfer times 1 for a 12% melee ability regen, and Bomber for a 12% grenade ability regen as well. For the extra stuff, we have the following. Connect Siphon for creating orbs of power via matching weapon types, Ashes to Acid for getting super energy from grenade kills, Heavy Ammo Finder, Reserves and Scavenger mods for a heavy weapon, Charged Up for a +1 armor charge, Arc and Kinetic Surge times 1 for a 10% weapon buff, and Powerful Attraction for automatically collecting orbs of power when using class ability, and Time Dilation, which will reduce the decay rate of charged gear. Now, as we have covered our exotic secondary weapon, I will then advise you to pick some super weapons for the build. What I recommend are all optional, so please keep this in mind. Our primary is the Blast Furnace with Kinetic Tremors and Rapid Hit. While a more up close and personal weapon will be better paired when using Geomags and Delicate Tomb, the build is flexible to adapt to whatever change you have in mind. Now, the primary will be solely used for dealing with all types of enemies because of its range and damage output. The KT is a great perk that can work well with any weapon it is placed on, so having this on the weapon to where it can inflict quite high damage easily is a must in my opinion. However, having a strand weapon is also effective if you have the Unraveling Orb seasonal mod on hand, since you can inflict additional damage as well, just from using your strand weaponry. For heavy, we have Watchful Eye with Overflow and Target Lock. Like usual, the machine gun is really powerful to have when your primary and secondary just ain't enough. While I would use this solely against the bosses and mini bosses, it can overflow to a fair amount, which can take on a whole lot of enemies all at once if I please. You may not need users against the more normal enemies, but for what it's worth, it's definitely worth keeping on your radar. Similar to how we did Cold Heart and Geomag combo, the following follows the same build setup that Cold Heart provides, although with different exotic provided. The main bonus of using this over Cold Heart is the fast direct damage you can do in first impressions against enemies. It can jolt targets per IOT traces collected, and is great for building up your super in under 0 to 10 seconds. All of this can be done with Cold Heart as well, but I find the fusion to be more better for the fast paced run and gun type setup you may be after. Personally, deciding which exotic is best will ultimately depend on what you prefer for your given loadouts. Using Cold Heart with the new seasonal mods will not only grant you increased damage and healing after kills from seasonal mods, but you're also getting a wide number of IOT traces that can enhance your loadout for longer. Compare this to Delicate Tomb that can also generate IOT traces as well, while also creating more through seasonal mods, Fragments, and can also apply a weakening effect to all targets hit by it. You can see that both weapons can excel in different areas and ranges fairly easily. For me, Delicate Tomb is the best weapon to bring with you into endgame or dungeon boss room encounters, just because of the overall effectiveness that particle deconstruction can do when paired up with a fusion rifle. This alone outweighs the benefits that Cold Heart provides, as the extra damage boost from the rest of your kit is going to be noticeable, making a great impact against bosses and mini bosses alike. On top of that, the fast super energy build up via our geomags means that we have a lot more reasoning to use Delicate Tomb more than Cold Heart. This might seem a bit biased at first, but truthfully both weapons and builds are quite excellent in their given areas. You know what you're getting with the two builds in mind, and even when swapping key parts out, they both offer the same results. So yeah, the build is pretty fantastic. I suggest you use it. So there we have it. I hope you all enjoyed the build breakdown. If you have any thoughts and content shared, then please leave a comment below, or if you enjoy the content and want more of these videos, then leave a like and a sub while you're here. A dim link for the build is located below in the pin section, and I do advise you to check out my playlist for more. It was great sharing today's video with you all, and I hope to see you again soon.